podcast with Alex Rodriguez and Ron Williams. They talk about the Orange County music scene from the past to the present and the future. Today we welcome back Charlotte La Rue for part 2 of her interview. We hear more about playing shows on some historical stages, obsession of Disneyland, passion for the School of Rock, inspiration of Michael Jackson, and appreciation of jamming at the whiskey. She also talks about what's next in her musical journey, crushing burgers and a rush trivia quiz, living on a lighted stage, approaches the unreal. For those who think and feel, Charlotte is the real deal. Thanks again for joining us. Please welcome back Charlotte La Rue.
In the movie theater at Disneyland, when I was a kid, I saw what's that song, Bare Necessities, with the
Jungle Book.
Jungle Book. Yeah, I saw Jungle Book in the movie theater at Disneyland when I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Wow, that's crazy.
So,
was it the same one as Captain EO? Or is it different?
No, this was a movie theater like way up on Main Street, like where the Lincoln
like like in the cine, yeah, where they show like the Sherman Brothers documentary. Yeah.
I'm sure, but I mean it's evolved over time. But also as a kid, like I remember being parked in that theater and mom would say like, okay, stay here. And this is back when we had E-tickets and D tickets and C tickets, you know, like Disneyland was a whole different experience growing up and a lot more affordable. But one thing that happened at Disneyland, two things. One of my very first albums, which I think you can appreciate, was the Haunted Mansion spooky Halloween album.
I've got it right in my shelf over there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have it on vinyl or do you have it on CD?
I have it on vinyl, yeah.
Oh, that's the best. I used to put that on at Halloween. Like we would hide a speaker in our front yard for the trick-or-treaters and just
awesome.
Play those spooky songs. But when we were in high school, Disneyland created this brand new extension for the youth because they wanted to bring us kids in, and they would have this afternoon pass, and they created this thing called Videopolis. Obviously, MTV was a brand new thing, but they created Videopolis. Alex, you remember going to Videopolis at all?
I sure do.
And you go there, and they would play all these European like dance bands and all these synth bands and all that music was like, we would go as teenagers, and that's where we would hang out at Videopolis.
And there was a dance floor, and it was an all ages sort of party.
It
like
was
that
the best. It was the best experience. You had mentioned you'd gone, or I'd seen that you'd gone to Disneyland and you go to Knott's Berry Farm. What does the 20-year-old kid in you, or the teenage kid in you, do to experience music besides School of Rock? Because we're just now experiencing, Alex and I both were introduced to Rachel in the School of Rock Tustin.
Yeah.
And the idea of the first time I had experienced School of Rock in terms of performances was the Queen cover band Kings of Queen. Now that was 3 years ago at the Encore Theater here in Tustin. They opened up for the Kings of Queen. And it was a great cover show. It was awesome. But I first thought that's a great idea, having all those kids cycle in, rotate in, play their songs. Yeah. And that audience was there to see a Queen cover band, which I paid for the VIP experience. And I thought, oh, this is great. You get to eat dinner, you have some drinks and watch this Queen cover band. And then I was blown away by the kids mostly because I thought, well, those guys are kicking ass up there.
Yeah.
And they were playing music that I can relate to. They were playing music that I liked growing up.
Right.
So when you're at School of Rock in Rancho Santa Margarita, or you're hanging out with these kids, like, where do they go to dance? Where do they go to experience music? I mean, they're not going to our place in Lake Forest to go hang out at a bar.
Actually, I go there all the time, actually.
Well, now you do. Now you do. But what I'm saying is, like, there isn't a place to go hang out and listen to new music, right? Or are they just getting everything online?
I think there's different options. I mean, obviously, I'm not them now. I know for me as a kid, a lot of it was, I'd go see concerts whenever I could. I was fortunate enough that my parents, growing up, they took me to see, I've seen Styx like 8 times. Like I've seen them a million times. Like, my dad showed me. And then of course I grew up in the era where, and it's more so for these kids now too. It's, social media, like TikTok for them is huge. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have TikTok when I was their age, maybe, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube was a huge thing for me as a kid. Mm-hmm. I know now I feel like it's kind of moved off YouTube a little bit and it's like all on TikTok. I feel like everything's TikTok now. But for me growing up, you know, it was on YouTube. I would look up like, you know, Queen cover, and I'd see a video of some guy doing a cover, you know, like, so I found it also through media, but I think a lot of it is through, you know, TikTok, Instagram. I mean, I found Sabrina Carpenter through outside of like Disney Channel, like you were saying.
Hmm.
One of her videos went viral on TikTok, and like every video on my feed was her. And I'm like, oh, she's not bad.
Yeah,
You know, that kind of thing.
I fell for it. I like her music. That was so weird for me because I'm like I usually don't like the newer stuff, but
Well,
this
and I don't either. And
and
that's the
Billie
reason why
Eilish.
the fact that I'm actually a diehard Billie Eilish fan,
Yeah, okay.
which I thought was interesting because again, I don't really listen to the modern pop stuff as much. You
Hmm.
know, like you were saying earlier, the most modern pop I get is like Katy Perry and Justin Bieber because that's what was popular when I was their age.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas now, you know, I mean, Chaperone's pretty cool, but like you got her, Billie Eilish, you've got Taylor Swift, which Rachel's a Swiftie. She's a big enough Taylor Swift
Yeah.
fan that she has the fandom for the both of us. She gets Taylor to herself. But yeah, I was shocked. I mean, funny enough, one of my favorite producers of all time is actually Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother.
Okay.
But again, same thing. It caught me off guard that I liked her as much as I did because I'm like, this isn't really what I'm normally into. But even her and her brother, I mean, they wrote a song for fun. They put it on SoundCloud. They
Mhm.
woke up the next morning and it had 1,000 hits. And then all of a sudden, you know, she just kind of blew up. But same, you know, it's so a lot of it. I do think social media is, you know, it has its advantages and its downsides. But I think nowadays that's
Mhm.
where a lot of that kind of stuff can come into play. And then of course the local music scene's great. You know, we've got venues like the Coach House, and you
Mhm.
know, I know the parents of these kids, and I know that they're a lot like my parents in the sense of, you know, they take them to concerts, they show them their music, you know. Like I said, a lot of it for me growing up was just driving in the car with my dad and him having Hair Nation on or shuffling a playlist and hearing Motley Crue come on. And then I'm like, oh, what are more bands that sound like Motley Crue?
Yeah.
And then, you know, then you find Whitesnake and you find all those hair metal, you know, it's
White
kind of.
Snake.
Well,
I'm wearing a
that's-
Whitesnake shirt right now.
Girl.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Alex and I started this podcast. We were going to talk about the music from the past, but on the way down to that concert to see you play at the Coach House, we listened to Alex's SoundCloud. Like we had
Yeah.
his SoundCloud songs on repeat. So maybe Alex, you can talk to her more musician to musician now, and we can.
My, I want spitting. Okay, but I just wanted to point something out, and this is for everybody listening too, because I was listening to you, Ron, and like you're very much in touch with like I know my generation. This is a new generation coming up, but what people I don't think most people realize when they trip out on these young people, why are you listening to that? Wow, that's my music. It's like, why aren't you listening to like what's eye level at you? No, the reason it seems so unusual is because kids, and we were kids, and I used to be a kid driving around with my dad and cycling cassettes, right?
Mhm.
Grease, Kenny Rogers, just to
Yeah.
give you a hint of who I am. The thing is, like, there are those of us who, like you, Charlotte, who is a soldier of music. Like you're doing work on all kinds of fronts. You don't just love the music. You're a music educator. You've got your fingers in like 6 pies at the same time. Like there's Rush tribute, but there's like GNR tribute, like you said.
Mm.
And by the way, I wanted to tell you this. There is no better name for a tribute band for Guns N' Roses, especially fronted by a female, than Rocket Queen.
Right?
That's a bullseye, buddy. That is a bullseye.
Yeah.
My favorite GNR song, by the way.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
But anyway, Charlotte is out here like many other people, but like she's really got it in her hands where she's stitching together like this musical generational quilt. And like we're tripping out because this music is music from, like, most of these people are still alive. And maybe we saw them growing up, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
rock and roll is no older than your grandparents. And the blues and country are no older than your great-grandparents, right? But there's musicians
Right.
out there who love music, and the music that they love and play is 300 years old. And right? So you look at Beethoven, like you're like, oh, you're a music nerd. No, you don't know what a music nerd is. A music nerd is somebody who is in 6 freaking cover bands and kicks ass.
I lost count.
You know what I mean?
I was like, God, how many bands is she in?
And like converts people, like you were saying earlier. You're converting people, right?
Yeah, and that's I think the reason I gravitate a lot towards the older stuff too is because the reason I think I have more respect for, the older bands so much even as the newer ones is because everything comes from somewhere, like you just said, right? You started
Right.
with Mozart and Beethoven, and then I mean, so much of metal is inspired by classical music as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
big time.
I mean, and I always think that, I mean, I know it's so cliche to be like the Beatles, but like the Beatles, I mean, think about like none of your favorite bands would exist if it weren't for the Beatles, right? If it weren't for the Rolling Stones and all these bands, especially the British invasion bands that like broke
Mhm.
through and like
Yeah,
kind of tied everything together. So for me, it's like, like, and I'm a diehard Hailstorm fan, right? And Lizzie Hale, like her heroes are Judas Priest and Black Sabbath. That band,
yeah,
even though they don't, you can tell they're inspired by them, but they don't sound like a Judas Priest knockoff, right?
yeah.
But like that band probably wouldn't exist or sound the way it does if it
Right.
weren't for those bands.
Yeah,
So
it's not just the sound, it's the fact that the Beatles were the ones that came and they didn't need a stable of songwriters. They were their
yeah.
own thing. They brought
Oh
it
yeah, and
all.
it's so funny because they were so. And I always, I know the quote of like, if you're being ridiculed for it, you're doing something right. Because I mean, back then, I mean, and it's so funny because there's so many parallels, like with the Beatles, right? Back then, it's funny. I just saw a meme the other day, and it was like a clip of the Beatles, like on the Ed Sullivan Show,
Mm.
and it's like what moms thought they sounded like, and it was like this black death metal.
Yeah.
But like they got so much hate for that, and then you
Yeah,
look at Motley Crue. I mean, when Shout at the Devil came out, that was like one of the most controversial
yeah,
things. I mean, Led Zeppelin got crap for Stairway to Heaven
right.
because they said that when you reverse the record, you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but it's crazy how even, the Beatles are completely different from Motley Crue.
Actually,
Motley Crue is completely different,
let me
Yeah.
interrupt you there. So
Yeah.
you did this, I don't know if it was November of this year or November of last year. You did an AC/DC tribute to Back in Black, like it's the 30 some anniversary of Back in Black. And then you played with an all-star lineup of what was this band called? Like legendary album featuring bands like Gay CDC, which I think is hilarious.
Oh, I'm
And
doing that this Tuesday. Yeah,
this
that's
is coming
happening
up.
this
Okay.
Tuesday.
So it's
Yeah, I
set,
do
yeah,
yeah,
July
KCDC is
28th,
great.
Whiskey a Go Go. Okay. So
Yeah,
Gay
so I do
CDC,
those every month. Yeah.
Thunderstruck, and the energy of the Ultimate Jam Night, Sunset Strip over decade. So are you also now doing an AC/DC thing where you're playing some
No, I'm
AC/DC
not.
songs?
So I actually there's this thing that I do. I do it pretty regularly actually. I'm very fortunate enough to have become a regular at this event.
Okay.
It's called Ultimate Jam Night. They do it once a month at the Whiskey. And it's basically every month there's a different theme. So like this month the theme is, the 30th anniversary of Back in Black. So, and it's basically you get invited to it. It's sort of like one of those jam nights, but it's an invite thing. So like, and I've made so many connections and friends through that. I'm very grateful to be part of that Ultimate Jam Night family. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's once a month. There's a different theme. So like one month it was the first one I ever did. We did it as Rocket Queen. And it was a Halloween theme. So we did some of like GNR's spooky songs, and then, you might have a band do like, Dig Up Her Bones by Misfits. It's like kind of every song in the set fits a theme.
There you go.
But you're playing with, I mean, I've played with people from the Aristocrats. I mean, singer, you've had a bunch of people. Bill Ward from Black Sabbath has done it. It's really cool. It's just they bring together all these local musicians and kind of just, you find out your songs. Sometimes you don't meet the people and there's no rehearsal. You just kind of show up and everybody learns their part and plays, but
That's
it's really
awesome.
fun. It's a really cool community. I've
Well,
made a
and
lot of connections through it.
I saw last Sunday night, I think it was Sunday night or maybe it was Saturday, you were at the Whiskey playing. And I just happened to log on to Instagram the moment that you went live and you were talking like, do you know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby. And you
Oh
sang this
yeah.
Guns N' and so I tried to screen capture it because I was going to play it during this. I'm sure you have lots of
Oh,
recorded videos.
I have a million videos over the last two and a half years of me doing that, and from Saturday.
So you were live streaming from the stage, which obviously is kind of a new thing. I mean, it's a new technology to be able to live stream, but you were reaching out to your social media audience as well as a packed Whiskey a Go Go. Like now,
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to play with like Mule Davis and Misfit Toys, some of these Orange County bands that also made it up to Hollywood to play. And then
Right.
I've been to the Whiskey to go see my favorite bands of all time. And then right next door is the Rainbow Room. And so
Yeah.
I walk over to the Rainbow Room and I met one of the guitar players for Guns N' Roses was literally sitting right next to me. So
Wow.
the Hollywood scene, and this of course was, 25, 30 years ago.
It's such a small world. It's crazy.
It really is, but also I looked at the Sunset Strip now and I think, ugh, it's kind of dead. Like nobody's walking up and down the street unless they live there. And the idea of like going in, I was surprised at the crowd. Like not only was it packed,
Yeah.
the stage was huge and a lot of people on stage and having a good time. But then I looked into the audience and I saw some of the pictures later and I thought, good for you to have a packed Whiskey A Go Go. Like,
Oh no,
to
it's
me,
and
it's great.
it's crazy because I mean, like I said, so when I was about 13, or I want to say around 12 or 13,
Hmm.
I found Motley Crue. And for me, I'm like a total hair metal nerd at heart. I love it. I know it's my thing. But Motley Crue, like I want to say for a straight like 4 years, I listened to nothing but Motley Crue. Like my entire my entire personality for a long time was Motley Crue. And of course, they're what are they known for? Making it big at the Whiskey and the Roxy and being the
Sure.
Sunset Strip. They owned it. They started kind of that whole hair metal
Yeah.
80s sunset movement. So my dream as a kid was always to play the Whiskey. That was like my biggest dream, like my entire life. It was like if I could play the Whiskey, like that's.
Yeah.
And I remember I
That's where
played
the
it for the
Doors got
first
their
time.
start too. The Doors got their start there.
Yeah, a million. I mean, Janis Joplin played there. Everyone's played there. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
such a historical little, for being such a tiny little bar just in the corner. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
such a tiny club, but it's got so much history. And I remember the way it felt. The first time I played it, and how many years like little kid me wanted to play it and like worshipped that venue that it was. That was like a church to me. It was like the church of like all my favorite bands.
Yeah,
So
no
Yeah.
kidding.
to get to play it, all the, because of Ultimate Jam, especially to get to play it all the time and thinking back to as a kid and seeing it as this like unreachable thing. And now it's like I play it regularly and I'm playing to these big crowds and people are coming for all over. It's really kind of a cool full circle. I feel like a little mini Nikki Sixx and I'm like,
No kidding. Well, do you get a chance to kind of absorb it? Do you get a chance to walk the halls and like look at the people who sign the walls and
oh
go,
yeah, yeah.
like I'm actually here. Like I'm going on stage and I'm gonna
Yeah,
perform.
no,
Like
and it still
yeah,
trips me out. I mean,
yeah.
this is I know I'm doing Ultimate Jam on Tuesday. This is I've probably done about 9 of them by now,
No kidding.
but still like like I've been part of that family now for over a year at least,
Hmm.
or at least around a year. But still, it's like every time I walk on that stage or I'm like walking down those stairs to get to it, I'm just like, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy, especially growing and like I said, I'm 23. I wasn't alive during the 80s, especially during that hair metal craze. But like, as someone that knows so much about it and is like, as much as I wish I could have been a part of it, like that's as close as I can get to it. But it's
Hmm.
even cooler for me being the performer and being the one that gets to entertain rather than just being the audience member. But I get to do both. I'm actually going to the Whiskey tonight. My friend Steve is in a band called Tough from the 80s. They're
Hmm.
awesome. And I'm going to the Whiskey and the Rainbow tonight to see them, play with them. So it's this crazy, like, full circle, full circle thing.
Yeah, and thank you for taking time out to record a podcast. If whatever
Yo,
this
absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is
is.
a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
no, I've really enjoyed getting to meet you. And Don and Dave did a great job. And they said, go ahead and call her Shar. She probably answered to Shar. But like I loved chatting with your mom last night because of course I'm like, as a growing interviewer, if you've noticed, we've only had 18 episodes on our podcast. So
Yeah.
Alex and I started this thing in February after a couple years of really wanting to put together a podcast, get to know the current scene. Let's find out what venues are going on in Orange County because we were here for the '90s renaissance of punk and ska, and like the idea
Right.
that when I was
Which
a
I'm
kid,
jealous for. I'm very jealous of.
I'm telling you what, it was a really great time to be in Orange County. But I was in an alternative rock band. Alex was in kind of an alternative rock band, and it was hard for us to fit in. But there were
Right.
so many stages, so many places to play that are gone now. Like a lot of bars, a lot of but Tiki Bar was there back in the day. We got to play out at the Boar's Head in Covina that a lot. That's where I lived actually.
Nice.
And then, but Alex, got to play at the Coach House several times, and he opened up for major touring acts. But I would go see him play, and then I'd watch the bands that he was opening for, and I'd be like, "Oh, now I'm a fan of that band."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the idea of it does mean get on stage, see what's out there. But can you compare? I don't even know if there's a question in here. I just want to say thank you for doing
No,
the pod.
Yeah, no,
you.
thank you for having me. It's really cool you guys are doing this.
Well, thank you, because we're researching Orange County music. We're really trying to find what the pulse is out there right now, and our first few episodes were just us talking to each other. Like, let's talk about our history and what's my band. Like, my band was Early Man over my shoulder here. Let's see, I don't know which shoulder it is. This is Early Man. I was in that band for like a year. Alex has been in Bread Circus his whole entire life as this one band, but he also has a band called The Gitness, and I'll speak for him right now. But I did this Orange County Rock with the Twisted Lemon CD, where I did like 8 bands at the time, all gave me 2 songs, and I produced this compilation CD.
Oh, that's cool.
And September 1st will be its 30th anniversary. So most of the bands on that album, and Bread Circus was one of them, they all gave me 2 songs. We did a compilation CD. So are there bands now going around Orange County that are I don't want to call them sister bands, but it's like with your band, like, and I did find another one that you played in, Viridian Lights, was like an all-girl band.
All girl covers. We had a couple originals. Yeah, they're some of my best friends.
That's awesome. And
the keyboardist and I are actually gearing up to move in together. So
no kidding. Okay. And I kind of heard you all went your own way with different projects. So it's great that you've how do I call this? You know, when I met Misfit Toys and I met Hot Monkey Love and Rick Fallon was the guy I was talking about. When I met all these bands, and Rick Fallon, I've got his album there. He's actually got 3 albums that are stuff back. But Rick and his band, he had 35 songs, 40 songs, and now he's recorded 3 albums. And over the course of his lifetime, has gotten a lot of recording experience. But he's also written a lot of songs. And now, as a producer and an editor and a AI animator and a songwriter, I don't know what I am now. I actually worked on 2 animated videos for him. So if you look back on our podcast and our shorts, you'll see like all the things that we've managed to produce in the last 4 months, which is a lot of great conversations about a lot of great musicians and a lot of great songs.
Yeah.
But like you and Rachel represent, like, I think you guys are kind of really good at representing what the future is of Orange County rock, but not knowing really what the School of Rock was until we got that tour, and understanding that, you know, it's kind of a for-profit business that is in the business of making young rock stars. And it's really admirable. I love that you're doing that. And Alex, at one point, I'm like, dude, why don't you go down there and teach some people to play guitar? I'll go down there and teach some people to play drums.
No, teaching is very fulfilling. And again, it's something that I didn't expect to do. Like, I thought that I'd still be at Disney by this point. I didn't realize I was going to end up leaving. And then, you know, my grandma was like, oh, you should just try, see if you like it. I got the job. And I've been there for, it'll be 4 years in December. So
okay.
What are your musical goals? Do you have, like, I'd like to end up this way? Like,
yeah. For me, the tribute and the cover stuff's really fun, and I love doing it. I like it keeps me performing. What my ideal initial goal was to kind of build myself, like you said, this kind of foundation of like, I'm in enough bands and they're all different enough that, like, every weekend I'm doing something different and I'm playing different stuff all the time. I'm meeting all these people and it keeps me playing. Original stuff is really where my heart is. I have a new original band that we've been kind of writing some stuff remotely because they live in Sacramento, called Red Line.
All right, let me update the spreadsheet. Hold on.
Another
band.
I'm so sorry, dude. There's like at least 5 you're missing on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out of room here. I gotta.
Red Line. Yeah, so we've been jamming on some stuff. They're really cool guys. And then prior to meeting them, I actually have some songs that I wrote.
Great.
That I was actually just I didn't kind of know what I wanted to do with it. And then I've had a couple people tell me, like, you should just release under your own name, do your own thing, have your friends play on it. So that's actually kind of what I've been working on the most, over the last couple weeks, is just really tying that together. Because it's been like months coming, but it was just kind of, now I've got enough stuff kind of built up. Yeah. So, but yeah, the original stuff, like for me, like my dream, if I could go on tour and have a successful music career, and if my primary source of income was just playing, even if that was cover bands, tribute bands, whatever, like I just want to play.
Well,
I want to get to a point where I can make enough just playing that, I love teaching, but like I wouldn't need a job, like a day job. I could just make a living out of it and go on tour and play these big venues.
I want that for you. I want that for you. I want the original. I want Red Line to succeed because you're cutting your teeth and you're building your muscles on all this other stuff. You've got everything else. You've got the presence. You've got your foot up on the monitor. You've got the mic, right? Like you've got the audience in the palm of your hand. But you've got originals now. How about you get out there and one day my kids will have banners of you on their ceiling, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want for you, Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's a big part of what I do too. I love it when I'm playing. I see like little girls and like little kids in the front, and they're all excited about whatever, because it's like that's like the way that I grew up looking at like Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm, right? The way I like admired her and was like, she's everything I want to be. Like if I could be a role model to somebody in that way at some point, that would be like the way that all these little girls look at Taylor Swift. Yeah. And I mean, I guess would be the now version.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I have this foundation of like really solid cover and tribute acts and like this solid lineup of bands that no matter what, because my big thing is, it's the original stuff's so tough because it's like, and it's not like everything, it's not in no way is everything about the money, but you don't make money with it. If anything, you're spending money on it.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like, and then you get so consumed with it, you're not playing all the time, you're paying to play. So I wanted to build like a solid foundation for myself of like, okay, no matter what, even if I make original stuff and it doesn't pan out the way I'd want it to, I still get to play every weekend. I get to play with, my best friends are the people in my band, Your Mom.
I was just gonna say
Like,
Your Mom band. That's the only band that you haven't mentioned.
That is my favorite
Your Mom
project I've
band.
probably ever been in. Like it's so fun, and it's so funny because it's so not what I'm used to. I'm so used to the 80s and the 70s and doing all that kind of stuff. So when I joined, and it's like, we're doing Rage Against the Machine and Smash Mouth and all this different stuff. It's all stuff I like, but it's not stuff that I ever really was like, oh, let's sing this. And it's opened up a whole love for me of like the 90s outside of just grunge, because I was always really into Soundgarden and like all those Alice in Chains. I'm a huge Lane Staley fan.
Nice.
And of course, once I joined, I was kind of like, all right, now it's time to kind of add in some of the stuff you guys haven't been playing. And then now that they added a Queen song, we added a Billy Idol song, so they've really kind of helped cater it towards what I like too.
Well, and you're playing Saturday at Wild Rivers. You're literally
playing,
we
are. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah,
I don't know where Marietta is. Is that around Orange County?
That's Marietta. That's kind of it's up like Inland Empire, kind of like Corona, Temecula-ish area. But
and then Alex and I went to Hangar 24 here in Irvine. We saw a friend of the podcast, Ashley Felton. She's a country singer. Ashley Felton is a future star as well.
Awesome.
In the country genre. But you're playing at the Hangar 24 in Irvine.
Yeah, we play there all the time. Yeah.
That's an odd business class.
It's so weird because you walk in and it's literally just like, it looks like an episode of like Black Mirror. It's just like a bunch of like industrial buildings. And then all of a sudden,
it was kind of like walking into like Google campus or something up in
it's weird. It's like very like liminal space vibes. It's very like
it's proprietary. It's like that area's private little thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But it's
when
cool.
all the companies close, then here comes the
fun.
musician. Yeah.
And you were talking about my hobbies. I don't know if this counts as a hobby. My favorite thing ever in the entire world is a cheeseburger. I love me a good cheeseburger. That's one of my hobbies, is going to different cheeseburger spots and trying out. I have a whole list where I rank them.
Yeah.
But it's so nerdy. But at the same time, they have one of the best smash burgers I've ever had. If you ever go to a show at Hangar 24, get their smash burger, one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Well, dude, I want to jump in and say two kind of embarrassing things. One, my phone is about to lose power.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Two, but this is more important. Is that song I sang earlier not White Snake? It's Great White.
It's Great
right?
White. Great White. Yeah. Funny enough, I actually opened for Jack Russell's Great White at the Coach House with that old original band. Mm-hmm. So Jack was one of that death hit me really, really hard because he was very like, I got to spend a lot of time with. I actually I got to talk to him. I know his band too. Like after that whole night, it was just good connection made. But it was really like, I remember talking to him, and he was just so like he was like, I heard your whole set. You guys were awesome.
Yeah.
He was so encouraging. He gave me really, really good advice that night.
Nice.
And he was just one of the most down to earth people I've ever met, which is awesome because and I grew up loving Great White. They're one of my favorites. So.
Oh, wow.
And it's always cool to, they always say I've been very fortunate, and I've actually gotten to meet a lot of the people I've looked up to over the years.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy to say that I really can't say I've met anybody that hasn't fulfilled what I wanted them to.
Yeah.
Because I know they say don't meet your heroes. So it's always like, approaching with this like, okay, you know, they could not be nice, but he was genuinely one of the purest people I've ever met.
And that's going to be you one day. That's somebody.
That's
someone's
the
going
goal.
to say. Someone's going to say we opened for Charlotte La Rue, and she sat me down, and she was, you know what I mean?
Okay,
That's
great band name
the
too.
goal, and
That'd be a great band name.
it's just it's very humbling too. It's humbling to know that, like, you know, like I was saying, the people that go to the Rush shows, even though I'm performing other people's material, it's humbling to know that I'm introducing people to something amazing that they might not have seen before. And it's very humbling to have these kids ask me for advice.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of these students, like, they remind me a lot of when I was their age. You know, like, they're just getting into it. They don't have any connection. They don't know anybody yet. It's like, you know, they sing in their room and on Instagram, and it's like they're asking me for advice, and then seeing them play the Coach House. Some of them are the same age I was the first time I played it.
Yeah, and I think it was Chad, the guy that was like, he's really into it. Like, I don't know, he was one of the lead singers. I think it was Chad, or I forget
Max. Yeah, Max is
okay.
my student.
Sorry,
Max is
Max.
Awesome, dude.
So Max, he's like, come on, and he's singing. He rips his jacket
Max,
off, and he was
Max
digging it.
is everything I ever wanted to be as a kid in one person.
Great.
Max is so cool.
Great kid.
Yeah, and it was really fun for me, because when I was shocked enough already that I was able to score that headlining Coach House gig, right? Because that's been a thing for me forever. And then when I was like, am I able to bring in my own opener? Like, it was very special for me to, like, make that whole night happen, in terms of, like, you know, we got the headliner, and then I brought in School of Rock, and it was cool because it was cool knowing that I was giving them the same experience I had when I was their age.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of cool. It was cool being the one to give it to them, rather than just, you know, when I was their age, having it given to me. You know?
Yeah.
So I tend to forget that this podcast isn't about me. I got to make it about I'm working on that. So if you watch my episodes over time, I have very long questions.
I ramble, so you're totally good.
Well, and I do have the power of the edit. But what I was going to say is tonight is also the School of Rock All-Stars. So we might release a clip. Do you want to send a shout out to a good luck thing to the school? I might be able to squeeze it on social media here in the next hour. But like when we did the promo of just you saying, come on down to the Coach House, you wouldn't believe how many views that thing got. Like, people love just you welcoming people to come down to the Coach House.
Yeah. No, I want to definitely
shout out to the School of All-Star or School of Rock All-Star.
Yeah.
Since you won't be there, since you're on your way to
okay.
LA.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, cool. Do you want me to just say it right now?
Yeah, I'll give you some time to do a promo, and just promote School of Rock and School of Rock All-Stars and wishing them luck or something like that.
Awesome, cool. Hey guys, my name is Charlotte. I work at the School of Rock in Rancho Santa Margarita. Tonight, our house band is actually going to be playing at the Constellation Room in Santa Ana at the Observatory with the All-Stars. One of our guitarists, Ryan Stonich, is actually an All-Star. He made it in. So feel free, go check out our house band tonight. I believe the whole event starts around 7. I believe that's when they go on. I could be wrong about that, but you can check the flyers.
Doors open at 6.
Yeah. Okay. Doors open at 6. Okay. Yeah. So they go on at 7. Either way, you have the power of the edit. But yeah, go check out our house band with the All-Stars tonight at the Constellation Room. They're going to be awesome. They're going to blow you away. And go check out our very own All-Star Ryan Stonich on guitar.
Nice. Thank you.
Cool.
And Alex, I don't know what you're on percentage-wise, but I do have some trivia questions. I've got to do like those.
Oh, God. Okay.
I got to test your knowledge here. So hope you're ready. All right, so let's hit it. So we talked about Bastille Day, and trust me, I had that in a loop before I went to bed last night.
Right.
I could not fall asleep, and I kept thinking about that. Do you know 2 things? One, when is Bastille Day?
Well, it was actually 2 days before our Coach House show, which is the reason why we played it.
No kidding.
And I did say that on stage because I asked what day it was on Tuesday, so I know it's July 14th. And that was something I learned the day of.
No kidding. And you also learned that night what Geddy Lee's real name is. What's Geddy Lee's real name?
Oh my God, you told me this. Because she says it fast. Gary.
There you go, Gary Lee.
Okay.
All right,
Gary.
so what is Bastille Day? Do you know the meaning of Bastille Day? Because the lyrics are out of control. And you sang it word for word. And I was reading the lyrics as you were singing. I'm like, first of all, Neil Peart, shout out to him for making challenging lyrics for Geddy Lee to sing. But like, what is Bastille Day? It's a very important day to both the French and Canadians.
I know it's French. If I'm remembering correctly, I believe it is the day that started the French Revolution.
Basically, yeah.
It basically like it was like the marker for that, I believe.
Okay, and they broke into the Bastille was a heavy fortified prison in Paris that came to represent the absolute tyranny and oppressive power, meaning the Bastille was a prison that King Louis the 16th was under his monarchy, right? So July
Yeah.
14th of 1789, an angry mob of revolutionaries stormed the fortress to seize gunpowder and arms, marking a symbolic start to the French Revolution. So Bastille
Cool.
Day represents like that was when these revolutionaries broke in and took all this armament
Nice.
and they used
Okay.
that to start the Revolutionary War.
That's
And
another
then-
hobby I forgot, actually. I am a history nerd.
oh, no kidding. Well, I was
Certain eras
fascinated to learn
specifically.
that. I,
Yes. That's really, cause I love learning like random, like ancient Egypt and World War II are like I have a million random weird factoids. So it's cool to learn because French Revolution I don't know as much about.
uh-huh.
So it's cool to kind of learn more about that.
Well, to grow up too, Rush was always okay. I was a Led Zeppelin fan. My nickname's Ron Bonham, but like Led Zeppelin was a big thing for me. But Rush was kind of like my other friends' favorite bands, and then of course Chris's favorite band was the Beatles. So we'd go and just put on albums and just play songs. And
Right.
when Neil Peart would write these lyrics, they were kind of nerdy. They were kind of
Oh yeah. That's
historically
the hardest part of the
accurate.
gig for me.
It's
is remembering all of
unbelievable.
them. It's
Yeah.
like
But these guys were like Dungeons and Dragons. Like these guys were into like,
yeah.
like ancient medieval
Nerdiest of
times.
nerds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the nerdiest of nerds, and then you put them in a three-piece rock band that just absolutely crushes. Okay, so I got a couple more Rush trivia questions. So
Oh
let's do
god.
this one.
Okay.
Okay, in Rush's Limelight, where is the singer living? Is the singer living in
A lighted stage.
a lighted stage? You didn't even need the multiple choice. All right.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
also in Rush's Limelight, what type of lens is used to catch the life of the rock star? What type of lens?
Fisheye.
It is a fisheye lens. Good one on that one.
Trust
All
me
right,
when
one
I
more.
say with these lyrics, it's like to remember everything. That's the hardest part of this gig. It's just
Yeah.
remembering all the lyrics.
Well,
It's
I told
crazy.
Alex, I said, let me give her a couple of trivia questions that are based on the lyrics, so if she knows her lyrics, she'll know the answer.
That's great. Yeah. No,
And
please.
so I've got one more softball for you. All right. So,
Okay.
okay, what about this one? Before they settled with the name Rush as a band, in August of 1968, the band was under a different name. What was the band called before they were Rush?
Man.
As you Google it.
No. Sorry, my dad just tried calling me.
Oh, no kidding.
Man. You know what's funny? Ben has literally told me this. Like I know for a fact Ben has told me this, and I don't remember. I don't remember actually.
They were called The Projection.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. See,
Okay.
I remember. I know Ben for a fact has told me that.
All right, so
But-
two more. Okay, so what phrase is sung in two different songs on the Farewell to Kings album? What phrase is sung? Now I can give you multiple choice.
Okay.
A modest man from Mandrake, to seek the sacred river Alf,
Mhm.
closer to the heart, or in the constellation of Cygnus.
I'm gonna go with A.
I don't know which one was A. Oh, a modest man. Well,
Or no.
in Farewell to Kings, there's two songs that use the term closer to the heart.
Interesting. So closer to the heart, and what's the other one?
Farewell to Kings, I think.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that one that makes sense because we haven't played that one yet. I know the song, but I haven't like.
Yeah,
I
as the
can't, like,
final
deep dive
line.
it.
Can't we find the minds to lead us closer to the heart?
By
And
the
then
way,
Wow.
Closer
by
to
the
the Heart
way,
is the title song.
killer first line of a song. And the men who hold high places must be the
Oh
ones to
God.
start
Yeah. Right.
to mold a new reality closer to the heart.
And then I
God
get
damn.
one of my favorite Rush songs in general, and honestly to perform is Xanadu, because I get chills every time on that opening. That's to seek the sacred river Ralph, because it's this like crazy drawn out intro, and then all of a sudden it's just pretty, and it's like whoa,
Yeah.
like where did that come from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
It's awesome. We're going to have to do this again. Charlotte, we got to get you on
Yeah.
the road to LA. It's going to take you 3 hours with traffic.
oh God, you have no idea.
Or we'll send down the helicopter, get you on the helicopter.
Dude,
Right.
please, yeah.
Charlotte La Rue, you are a blessing and absolute joy to talk to. You are everything Rachel said you'd be.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys. It's
You are-
great to meet you. I'm glad she connected. We got to do one with her and I together.
Thank you for watching the OC Music Podcast. And thank you, Charlotte, for such a great interview. We loved hearing all about your life of making music. Follow Charlotte on social media and get out there and see her perform live. And special thanks to Don La Rue for the great stories, and to the Coach House and School of Rock, Rancho Santa Margarita. And thank you to Rob Blaze for the amazing videos. But most of all, thank you for watching. Please like and follow the channel so we can bring you more great interviews as we explore the OC music scene.